Hey, what's up everybody? Brittany and Craig here, and we're going through our routine for today's Wing Free Wednesday. So all you're gonna need is a Theraband and something that you can get down on your hands and knees for, whether you got a yoga mat or maybe one of these tables like this. Craig's gonna be our model for today, so let's take it onto all fours there. And the first exercise we're going into are some of those Serratus push-ups. So we did them in the previous week standing and against the wall. Today is gonna be a little more challenging because we're going against gravity and we're planted through all fours. So the movement is exactly the same as we've done it before. As the chest drops down, shoulder blades come together. And then as he pushes away, he's creating space in between those shoulder blades, and the shoulder blades are coming around that body. So the serratus muscle is what helps keep that shoulder blade against the body, and we want to try to get as much movement around the body as you can with each repetition. Notice how he's keeping a nice neutral spine here. Forehead is staying parallel to the ground. So he's not doing anything funky, looking up, looking down, or letting gravity pull his head and take control. Let's go through 3 more here. And you want to keep your belly button drawn in just slightly towards the spine, almost like there's an ice cube underneath, and you're trying to lift up your belly button just enough to get off that ice cube. Okay, perfect with those. And remember, if any of these feel too hard or you can't do them, you can always go back to the previous weeks and go through that routine and work your way up here. Next exercise you need a Theraband for, so we're going to go through some band pull-aparts. I'm going to sit behind Craig here, and what he's going to do is open up that band, bring the shoulder blades together, and then squeeze every repetition. So he's moving with control and with intention. He's not just throwing the band open and letting it pull him back. Exactly. You can do these really fast and really wrong, or you can do them slow and get them right. And we're looking for slow and right here. Okay, so every repetition, you'll notice how he has a little bit of a bend in his knees and he's not arching through the back. So if your band is too strong and you can't, and it controls you, every time you pull that band apart, your body's gonna wanna arch. What I want you to try and do is keep that core engaged, belly button drawn in towards the spine, so that you have good control with your movement, just like Craig's doing here. Okay, last one. And then the next exercise, you're not gonna need any resistance for. The first area we're gonna show you, they're I's, Y's, and T's. It's to get all parts of the upper, middle, and lower trap. So I'm gonna have Craig do a little bent over posture here, trying to get spine nice and neutral. Hips are tucked underneath, belly button's drawn in towards the spine, and starting with that I, thumbs are going up towards the ceiling. Perfect, again with that slow controlled movement, every repetition, he's pulling the shoulders down and back so that they're not rising up towards the ears. Exactly. Good, let's go through 4 more reps here for 4, 3, 2, and last one. Perfect, and then in between each of your I's, Y's, and T's, we're gonna do a little bit of a body reset. So this way you're not staying bent over for too long. If you don't have that core control and that back control, do some of these guys where you stand up, push the hips forward, extend through the back, and then when you're ready, go into the second round, which is gonna be more into that Y position. So the arms are gonna come up differently than the first one. We're gonna almost create a little diagonal. Perfect, we've all done that YMCA, so this is that capital Y from that dance. And same thing here, those shoulder blades are coming down and back and getting a little more of the lower trap with this movement. Let's get 3 more here. If you find that this is really hard for you and you can't even do it with a reset or it's hurting your back at all, you can actually lean on the table with one hand and do one side at a time. So you'll still get in that same bent over position. There you go, but then Craig has some of his body weight supported on the table, so it takes some of that stress off the lower back. Perfect, and then again, you're gonna go through a little bit of a reset here, push the hips forward, extend through the back. Good, you can go for 8 to 10 repetitions there in between, whatever you need, whatever feels right. And then when you're ready, we'll go into that last portion here, which is that T. So again, Craig's gonna get into that bent over position, belly button drawn in towards the spine, slight bend in the knees, and then arms go out by the side, thumbs come up towards the ceiling, and those shoulder blades come together. So we focused a lot today on that shoulder blade mobility and with that intent and control with the movement, not throwing the arms up and letting them plop down, but going nice and controlled, getting each muscle to activate as Craig lifts his arms. Here's what we want you to do at home. And then you can do the same thing that we did for the other one where you modify a little bit, lean on the table if you need for the low back, take out that extra stress, and then work on the movement here. All right, guys, see you next week.